What's up, squad? It's your boy Article coming at you with the beautiful, juicy tutorial. I had an issue earlier. I started the tutorial and forgot to make sure that my hardware virtualization is enabled, which is a requirement for setting up VMs with the 64-bit architecture. So, if you have a 64-bit architecture, which chances are you do, make sure in your BIOS or UEFI settings that hardware virtualization is enabled. So, first things first, we're gonna want to go ahead and install VirtualBox. You can go to virtualbox.org and download it right there, or you can go to downloads and click on Windows hosts, assuming you have Windows, which you probably do. For Kali, which is the penetration testing operating system we're going to be using virtually, go to kali.org, downloads, download Kali Linux and Kali Linux 64-bit installer, unless the rare chance that you have the 32-bit architecture. Well, there you go. For Metasploitable, you can Google search Metasploitable 2, which is the version we'll be using in this guide. And we're going to click on the top link for metasploit.help.rapid7.com. And right here is a SourceForge link to their Metasploitable project. That's the one we want. Click on the big green download button. You can't miss it. Now open up install first and then open up VirtualBox. To set up the Kali VM, we're going to click new, type in Kali. This is going to be Linux. We're going to do other Linux 64-bit. We're going to give this 2 gigs of RAM, so 2048 megabytes. We're going to create a virtual hard disk now, a VirtualBox disk image. We're going to leave it dynamically allocated, and we're going to give it 25 gigabytes. Boom, look at that. All right, next thing we're going to do for Metasploitable, same thing. We're going to click new. We're going to type in Metasploitable. The type is also going to be Linux, other Linux 64-bit. Click next. You probably don't need to give it 2 gigs of RAM, but I do anyway, just to be safe. We're not going to create a virtual hard disk now, actually. We're going to use an existing virtual hard disk file. Okay, click on the choose a virtual hard disk file. We're going to add one, and we're going to go to wherever you unzip that archived Metasploitable folder, and we're going to click in there until we get to the .vmdk file. Open, voila. So we're going to make sure that's highlighted. We're going to click choose. We're good to go. Create. Easy peasy. Metasploitable is an intentionally vulnerable virtual machine, so you do not want to power it on while it's connected to the internet. Now, chances are low, unless you have any port forwarding, that it can actually be taken advantage of. However, you still do not want to risk that. So, first things first, we're going to go to settings in Metasploitable. We're going to go to network, and we're going to make that host only adapter. Okay, that's going to come in handy later. Now for Kali, there's a couple of things we need to do. We're going to go to settings, system processor. We're going to give it a second core because I think that's the minimum, not 100%. Double check me on that. Then we're going to go to network, leave that NAT for now, but after we're done, we're going to change that also to host only, so that way these two can talk to each other. We're going to go to storage, click on the empty disk storage right here, click on this, choose a disk file, and we're going to go find that Kali Linux installer that we downloaded earlier. Look at that, fancy schmancy. Click OK. Now we need to power this on, and we're going to go through the installation process for Kali Linux. You may get a prompt like this that says select startup disk. Just make sure Kali is selected and then click start. Now I can drag this one over. Alright, so we're going to do the beautiful, pretty graphic install. Select your language, your country, key map for your keyboard. For your host name, I would just leave it Kali. If you're not a part of a domain, which chances are if you're watching this guide, you're not, just leave it blank and click continue. Cool, full name for the new user. I'm just going to put simply user. You can put whatever you wish. Username for your account, I'm going to leave this as user. Click continue. Make sure you pick a good password. Click continue. Select your time zone. For this part, leave it guided, use entire disk. Click continue. We're gonna, obviously that's the only one we can pick. continue. All files in one partition, yes, absolutely, continue. Finish partitioning and write changes to disk, yep, continue. Now this part you have to select yes, then click continue. All right, for this part, if you have a proxy, which chances are, once again, if you're watching this video, you don't, you would add it here. So I'm gonna leave mine blank because I don't have one, and continue. For this part, just go ahead and leave it default. For this part, you're gonna wanna go ahead and leave this clicked yes and click continue. Make sure you select your /dev/SDA as that is your only device. Continue. Go ahead and click continue here. You can either select it, but it'll also automatically select it. Cool, let's make sure it works. Enter your username and password that you selected. Make sure you can log in, get a background screen, open up a terminal. All right, we're gonna go ahead and power this system down. Now we're gonna go to settings. Make sure you select Kali first, then go to network and click host only adapter. So now these are both connected to a host only adapter. So we're gonna power them both on. Log in. We're just gonna make sure we have interconnectivity. Cool. Log in to Metasploitable with MSFadmin, and password MSFadmin. You can see what our IP address is here. So 192.168.17.5, and we're gonna go ahead and ping it from our Kali machine. 192.168.17.5, and we are connected. And because we're doing host only, we shouldn't be able to open up a browser and go to like Google or something. And we cannot. Excellent. All right, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and leave some quick little tutorial links that I find that that way you can get started learning. Since we set up the lab, you still need resources to actually learn what to do with this lab. I'm also going to be making another video eventually going a few steps beyond this and exploring different ways to attack Metasploitable. Yeah, so keep an eye out. Stay busy.